Welcome everyone. This tutorial is for the Bio 105 lab. This is for the exercise 6 pre-lab. So what we have here is the table in the pre-lab. We've opened it up in Word, and what it's going to do is allow us to click on the table here, click on this little corner, the crosshairs, and now we can either right-click, control-click, or hit Control-C and go ahead and copy that data. You can also open up an Excel file, and we can go ahead and just right-click and paste that data into the Excel file. Now, since what we want to do is make a histogram out of this, this is going to be different from the bar graphs that we did previously. We need to put this data into a vertical column. So we're going to start two columns here. One for the 1871, and the other one for 1982 through 1984. Now that we have our two columns, we are going to. I'm just going to put. This in so that we remember what we're talking about here. So here's a little trick that we can do. One of the things we can do is we can either go 3 at a time. We can copy these, all right, and then paste them in where they're supposed to go. The other thing we can do, all right, so you'd go through in each of those columns, you would do that. The other thing we can do is we can take these horizontal columns, we can go ahead and, if they stay selected, we can copy them, and then when we come down here, we are going to right-click or control-click. That gives us all of our paste options. What we want is the fourth one, and that is transpose. That means it's going to flip what you just did. What you highlighted is going to take it and flip it 90 degrees. So I'll show that one more time. So we're going to highlight our horizontal stuff. What was happening there? Try that again. So we are going to copy our horizontal stuff and then paste it in using transpose. Okay. So then you're only cutting and pasting 3 times for each one. I'm going to cheat a little. I've already got one put in. All right. So you do it for each of those. What you also want to do is you want to have the average or mean shell thickness for each of those columns. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to hit the equal sign. So click on, I have labeled these boxes. You go up here where it says average. That's giving you G8 through G13. That is these here. It's trying to do the column right above it. We don't want that. We want these guys. So we're going to come over here, and we want to go ahead and highlight this column instead. Okay, and that gives us our average. The next one, the easiest way to do it is to just click on this corner and drag it over. You can also go ahead and type in average and then highlight your column, closing the parenthetical. Any of those ways will work. So now we have our mean shell thickness for the 1871 snails and the 1982 to 1984 snails. We want to visualize this, and what we're going to use is a histogram. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the 1871s, and actually, I'm going to go ahead and start out with the 1871s. There we go. So we highlight our column of data, not the header, just the column, just the data itself. And we're going to go ahead and insert Go to insert, and we're going to insert a statistic chart. And so we're going to select histogram, and there is our chart. Here, you can see that each column in this chart represents a range. So for example, this is the number of snails from 1 to 3.8 millimeters. The next one is the range, the snails 3.8 to 6.6 millimeters, and on up. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to name our chart. This is the 1871. And just like any of our other charts that we produce, we're going to get rid of the grid lines, and we're going to add in our axis titles. Okay. Capitalizing is a little inconsistent. There we go. So we've got our 1871 snails. Now we want to do our 1982 to 1984 snails. So we're going to go ahead and do the same. Go ahead and highlight. Go to insert, histogram. And that has put our new one in there. And I'm going to go ahead and move it down. So you go until you get the cross, the sort of crosshairs, and you can move it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put, what was it now? 1982 to 1984. And the same changes. Okay. So now we have our 1871 and our 1982 to 1984 snail data. They are in 2 histograms. You can see that they have different ranges and that there are different numbers of snails represented in each of those ranges. So what you're going to do is you are going to save this Excel file and submit it on Blackboard once you have all of this done. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you in lab.